So, as you may have heard, this season has been like record flu. Just everywhere you go, ERs are being overrun by sick people. They're telling people to stay home if you have a fever. Don't even bother coming in because all you're doing is spreading the disease. Yesterday, I had to take my girlfriend to the ER. She called me at about 5:30 in the morning, said she was throwing up really bad, and she had chest pains. So I didn't hesitate. I got dressed, put a hat on, and just flew out the door, picked her up. We went to the ER. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's shift change time at the old hospital. We walk in. There was nobody in the ER. It was just us. We told the front desk what was going on. They got her in right away. We started off with 2 nurses. They got her set up. And then since it was the shift change, all of a sudden, we get a new nurse. She was a little not so nice to my lady at times. Didn't seem very caring, just kind of wanted to get her out of there. I didn't think too much of it. I don't like hospitals. I never have. I've never been a big fan of being around them. And people who work in that industry, like, my hat's off to you guys because there's no way that I can do that kind of stuff. I barely have patience for people on like a public level, let alone sick people who really need help and are injured or dying or whatever the case. I mean, that's an admirable job. I respect anybody who's in that industry. But this nurse wasn't too nice. We were there in the ER for 5 hours. It turned out my lady had some kind of, stomach flu virus. So they gave her some prescriptions. We got all of our stuff. We got out of there. Shortly after that, my lady received a survey that you get for most ER visits, just asking you how your visit was. She filled it out honestly because she did not like the nurse who was our primary nurse that was taking care of her. So she just filled out like, she didn't seem very compassionate. Seemed like she was rushing us. Within 20 minutes, my lady got a phone call from somebody from the hospital, like one of the supervisors, to talk about this. The supervisor on the phone mentioned that the nurse felt uncomfortable and was annoyed because of me referring to her as dear.
What the?
When I'm out in public, if you're a woman, I tend to just say either dear, darling, or honey. That's like what I refer to every woman as. It's just me being polite. And if you're a dude, I call you sir. That's how I was raised. That's just, basic etiquette for me.
You, sir, are a gentleman and a scholar.
I remember my girlfriend had to throw up, so she had to go to the bathroom. She ended up throwing up in the bathroom. While she was in the bathroom, the nurse had come in, and when the nurse came into the ER, I had to move out of the way. She had to get something out of the cabinet, and I looked at her and go, "I'm sorry, dear." And she looked at me with like these crazy fucking eyes, like, I want to kill you, or like, Jesus, something like that. And I didn't think much of it at the time. I thought maybe it was because of how my lady looked. She looked miserable and went to the bathroom to throw up. So I thought she was just giving me a look like, geez, that sucks or something, or like, whatever. Turns out she was talking about me. So this fucking nurse was annoyed and felt uncomfortable because I called her dear. What the fuck is happening, people? I'm on YouTube all the time. I see all the shit that's going on in Canada and in California with all this transgender shit and pronouns and people being offended by every butt fucking thing in the world. I was literally just sitting there being polite, and I said, dear. And she brought it up to her supervisor that she felt uncomfortable. What the fuck is that? Seriously, people, we are in a lot of trouble if being polite to people is now offensive. Like, honestly, if you are uncomfortable with that, I'm not sorry, because I did nothing wrong. And 2, if that does bother you as much as it did, you nurse bitch, because you're nurse bitch now. You're no longer nurse fucking dear. You're nurse bitch. You have a lot of shit. I get it. It was early in the morning, but by the time we left after 5 hours, it was 11. I could maybe see her being grumpy because she just got there, but she was grumpy the whole fucking time. So my politeness now is over. I'm done. You have some real issues to deal with if me calling you dear is gonna fucking ruin your day and make you feel uncomfortable. It's not like I sat there, people. I didn't go, "Hey, sugar tits, thank you." That would have been like, oh, Jesus. That would have been a little, whoa, Matt, your girlfriend's right there. You might want to take it back a minute. No, I said dear.
He said dear.
When my lady called me to tell me this story, man. I was floored. I don't get upset about a lot of things, but this fucking upset me because this is fucking ridiculous. We are in trouble if that's the problem. But you know what? Turns out this nurse is getting complaints before, and it's happening a lot. And the person that my girlfriend talked to on the phone about the survey said, you know, they're trying to train the nurses to be, you know, a little bit more caring. And it doesn't matter how I talk to this nurse. She should still be caring towards my lady because she's the patient, which is true. I mean, I can understand. I see it if I was a dick, but I wasn't. I sat in the corner. Like, I'm the kind of person in public that you want to deal with because I'm probably the easiest to deal with. I just sit there, yes, and then I go about my way. I never really put up a fight unless it's something I don't like, but for the most part, I just go with it because I want to get in and out. I fucking hate the ER. I don't like hospitals. They freak me out. It's weird. A person died in the other room. It was like, oh, Jesus. You know, I don't like being around it. But to be offended and uncomfortable because I called you dear, you weren't even a looker for one. It wasn't even a hot nurse. She looked like she could kick my ass. See, now I'm being a dick. But you know what? I think you can only have so much politeness and courtesy for other human beings. And the minute those people cross the line, all bets are off, at least on my end. I will always be nice and treat everybody with dignity and respect. But if you decide you want to drop that dignity, respect, courtesy line, well, fuck you then. I don't care. I'll call you whatever the fuck I want then. You lose my respect. I don't need to treat you nice. Not anymore. You have some serious issues, Nurse Dear. You do. You need to take care of that fucking shit. I don't know what happened to you as a kid or what the fuck's going on in your life, but you better deal with your shit. Getting in trouble for being polite. Fuck you. What do you guys think of this? I really want to know. I want to hear your comments. Would you be offended by this? What do you think of this whole situation? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't take yourself too seriously, people. Fuck you, nurse.